How should we react to Edgar Berlanga's recent social media post, where the 168-pound fighter expressed his desire to test greatness by facing off against former two-time heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua? Berlanga, who has fought in the super middleweight division, suggested that he could move up in weight and step into the ring weighing 210 pounds to make this fight happen. In his message on X, Berlanga said, "I would love to go up to heavyweight and fight Anthony Joshua to test greatness. There's nothing bad about this. I'll walk in the ring at 210 pounds. For many fans, this might seem like an unrealistic challenge, and some will likely dismiss it as just talk. After all, Berlanga is significantly smaller compared to Joshua, and it's hard to imagine this fight taking place. But it raises the question, would Berlanga have made this bold claim if Joshua hadn't recently struggled against Daniel Dubois? Joshua's recent setbacks seem to have lowered his standing in the eyes of many fans, which may be why Berlanga, a super middleweight, feels confident enough to call him out. At 6'1", Berlanga is taller than most fighters in his weight class. In fact, during his recent fight with Canelo Alvarez, Berlanga entered the ring weighing 193 pounds, despite officially being in the 168-pound division. He carried that weight well, which has led some people to believe that Berlanga could potentially fight effectively at 210 pounds. However, fighting someone like Joshua is a whole different story. Joshua, a seasoned heavyweight, is much larger and more experienced at that weight, making this matchup seem highly unlikely. Even if it were to happen, what would Joshua gain from beating a smaller fighter like Berlanga? On the other hand, if Joshua were to lose, it would be a massive blow to his career. This fight would carry huge risks for Joshua, but not much reward. It's unclear whether Berlanga is genuinely serious about wanting to fight Joshua. Fans have already started poking fun at his statement, with some suggesting that Canelo might have hit Berlanga harder than we thought during their fight. Interestingly, this isn't the first time a smaller fighter has expressed interest in taking on Joshua. Andre Ward, the former light heavyweight champion, once stated that he believed he could beat Joshua, and while that fight never materialized, Ward seemed serious about his claim. The focus now turns to Berlanga's future in boxing. Fans are curious about his next fight, especially after he held his own against Canelo in a few rounds, showing resilience and potential. Many believe that Berlanga has the skills and physical attributes to become a world champion one day. He might even be able to compete in higher weight classes, such as light heavyweight or cruiserweight, as he continues to grow in his career. But when it comes to the heavyweight division, especially against a fighter like Joshua, most people find it hard to believe. Moving up to heavyweight is no small feat, and it's hard to picture Berlanga competing at that level anytime soon. One of the major reasons fans are skeptical of this potential fight is the sheer size and power difference between Edgar Berlanga and Anthony Joshua. Berlanga has made his name in the super middleweight division, where fighters typically weigh around 168 pounds. Even though Berlanga has shown that he can carry extra weight without losing much speed or power, moving up to heavyweight where fighters can weigh over 240 pounds poses a completely different challenge. Heavyweights like Joshua are accustomed to dealing with the power and physicality of much larger opponents, making it difficult to imagine Berlanga, despite his ambitions, being able to match up with the likes of AJ. Another factor that should be considered is experience. Berlanga, while talented and still young in his career, lacks the heavyweight experience that Joshua has accumulated. Joshua has fought and beaten some of the top names in the division, including Vladimir Klitschko and Andy Ruiz Jr., giving him a significant edge when it comes to high-level competition. Berlanga has yet to face a true heavyweight in the ring, and the difference in both experience and physicality could be too much for him to handle, even if he were to bulk up to 210 pounds. A fighter's mindset and experience play a huge role in their performance, especially when stepping into uncharted territory like the heavyweight division. There's also the question of why Anthony Joshua would even consider taking this fight. For Joshua, who is looking to rebuild his career after a couple of tough losses, a fight against Berlanga wouldn't do much for his legacy. Joshua's focus is more likely on regaining his position at the top of the heavyweight division and securing big-name fights, such as a potential showdown with Tyson Fury or a rematch with Alexander Usyk. Fighting Berlanga, a much smaller and less experienced opponent, could be seen as a step back for Joshua, and it wouldn't offer much in terms of enhancing his reputation. In fact, a win over Berlanga might be expected, while a loss could be disastrous for his career. Lastly, it's worth discussing the broader trend of smaller fighters expressing interest in moving up to heavyweight. Berlanga isn't the first fighter to flirt with the idea of challenging a much larger opponent. Over the years, we've seen several boxers who have successfully moved up in weight classes, like Roy Jones Jr., who went from light heavyweight to heavyweight and won a title. However, these transitions are rare, and they come with significant risks. For Berlanga, it would take a lot more than just gaining weight to compete with someone like Joshua. It would require changes in strategy, conditioning, and a new approach to his fighting style. Whether Berlanga is seriously considering this move or just testing the waters with his statement, it certainly has people talking. Another important aspect to consider is the physical toll a weight jump like this could take on Berlanga. It's not just about adding pounds, it's about maintaining agility, speed, and stamina at a higher weight class. Berlanga would need to bulk up in a way that doesn't slow him down or affect his reflexes, which are key assets for a fighter in the super middleweight division. This transformation requires intense training and diet adjustments, and it's uncertain if Berlanga's body could efficiently handle the change, especially against someone as naturally large and powerful as Joshua. Moving up to heavyweight often comes with the risk of losing key attributes that made a fighter successful at lighter weights. On the flip side, if this fight were to happen, it would generate significant buzz in the boxing world, if only for its novelty. Fans love an underdog story, and a smaller fighter challenging a much bigger opponent has historically captured attention. The build-up to such a fight would undoubtedly focus on the weight and size differences, with many fans tuning in out of curiosity to see how Berlanga could possibly fare against a heavyweight like Joshua. This spectacle, coupled with Berlanga's confidence and growing popularity, could draw significant media attention and pay-per-view sales, even if the fight itself doesn't promise to be competitive. In boxing, spectacle often plays a big role in drawing crowds, regardless of the fight's actual merit. Lastly, this situation highlights a growing trend in boxing where fighters use social media to call out opponents and create headlines, whether or not there's a real intention to make the fight happen. Berlanga's post may have been more of a strategic move to keep his name in the conversation and build momentum after his fight with Canelo. In today's age of viral moments, a single tweet or post can spark widespread discussion and elevate a fighter's profile overnight. Whether this was Berlanga's goal or if he genuinely wants the fight, his message has succeeded in getting people talking, raising his visibility, and sparking debates among boxing fans about the feasibility of such a matchup.